Hey guys, Johnny Crims 2000 here, and welcome to my latest reaction video. This time I'm going to be covering Nintendo's E3 presentation, sort of presentation, because they didn't do one at E3 actually. They did theirs through Nintendo Direct, which unfortunately I haven't been keeping up with. This was actually the first one I watched all the way through their E3, because they actually didn't do a presentation like Microsoft and Sony did. But you know what? Honestly, I applaud Nintendo for doing this. I think it's a better way, because I don't know, I just like it better. So hooray for Nintendo. So Nintendo actually had a lot of awesome titles. I must say. I'm a big Nintendo fan. Will always be a big Nintendo fan. I currently don't have a Wii U, but after their latest Nintendo Direct, about E3, I may just get out there and get a Wii U pretty soon, actually. But anyway, here we go. They obviously, being a Nintendo Direct, they didn't mess around with any, theirs was significantly shorter, about like an hour, 40 minutes, as opposed to the other two, Xbox One and PS4/PS Vita, each one running about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So, anyway, before I start off, they did make a, they did have this section where they were covering basically all their third-party support for the Wii U and the 3DS, and as well as a small presentation about their indie games coming for the eShop. So I'll just quickly cover that before I get to the big guns, I guess, as it were. As far as third-party support, I'm just going to list off like a bunch of games, so be ready. These are the games that you can expect to come out for Wii U and 3DS. First off is Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Batman Arkham Asylum, or Batman Arkham Origins coming out for both the Wii U and a version on the 3DS. Deus Ex Human Revolution, Director's Cut, Disney Infinity, Just Dance 2014, Rayman Legends, Scribblenauts Unmasked, a DC Comics adventure, both for the Wii U and the 3DS. Shin Megami Tensei for 4, coming out for the 3DS. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Blacklist, Sonic Lost World, coming out for both the Wii U and the 3DS, and finally Watch Dogs. Now, I didn't list all of them, but these are some that I was kind of interested in. Just for starters, just going very, very quickly through these, because there are a lot. I don't want to spend too much time on them. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I already mentioned that in my PS4 coverage reaction. So if you don't know what I feel about it, just go back. I explain it there. Basically, in a nutshell, I'm not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, so this one's kind of like meh for me. Even if I were, I don't know exactly if I would get it for the Wii U. I would probably get it for the PlayStation 4. I'm not even touching Xbox One at this point. Same thing for Batman Arkham Origins. I would just get it for like the PS4, especially since I have Arkham Asylum for the PS3. But I will say this: the one for the 3DS does look to be a brand new game, so it's not just a copy and paste of Arkham Origins. In fact, it looks like a side-scroller kind of beat-em-up kind of thing. So that one at least looks original and interesting. So if you are a fan of the new Batman games and you want something new, especially for the 3DS, you should get the version of Arkham Origins for the 3DS. It looks to be pretty cool, and if it's by the same developers, I would expect it to be kind of, rather good actually. So that was a plus. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut. Now obviously this is a port of Human Revolution that came out for the 360 and the PS3. Personally, I've never played it before. I've never been that much into the Deus Ex series, actually. I did play Invisible War. Was it Invisible War? I can't remember the name of it, but way back in the Xbox days, I did play that, and it looked pretty. I actually only played like a demo and a little bit of the actual game. So if if I'm feeling a little bit nifty, I may actually get this for the Wii U, maybe. Next up is Disney Infinity. The only reason I mentioned this was because, I mentioned in my PS4 reaction video that I am actually a pretty big Disney fan, and I'm not exactly gonna get this. Yeah, go ahead, laugh. I'll wait. Go ahead, laugh. Yeah, Johnny Crims 2000 is actually a pretty big Disney fan. I can't wait to go to Disney World next year. Can't this year, unfortunately. No money. But yeah, Disney Infinity seems to blend in. Like the one thing I noticed is that it's some sort of like action game, which is pretty cool. and you get all these Disney characters and stuff like that. And you know what? I will say this about it. Like, yeah, it's Disney, yeah, it's kiddie and stuff like that, but sometimes what I found from personal experience is that sometimes you can get some of the more fun games out of the most unlikely places. I keep bringing this example with some of my friends, but the Simpsons game for the 360, PS3, and Wii, and obviously the DS as well, but I played the one for the 360. That's actually a pretty freaking awesome game. A lot of people didn't think so because it's it's like a third-party, licensed game and stuff like that. And actually, it's probably one of the more fun games that I've played for the 360. Quirky and stuff like that. So, Disney Infinity, maybe it would be the same thing too. Just Dance 2014, don't play that, so I don't have a reason to do it. Rayman Legends, obviously looking forward to that. Scribblenauts Unmasked. The only reason I wrote this down is because it's a DC Comics adventure, so it's tied in with DC Comics in some way, so that could be pretty cool. Shin Megami Tensei, of course, you have your RPG, so that would be cool. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Blacklist, and Watch Dogs is yet another one of those things where, if I'm going to play it, not saying that I will, Watch Dogs definitely, but I'm probably just going to end up playing with a PS4. And finally, Sonic Lost World for both the Wii U and 3DS. Holy crap, Batman, it's Sonic Extreme. I love me some Sonic, and I'm so glad that they finally, went back and took Sonic Extreme, so we can finally at least have some kind of version of Sonic Extreme, so that it's not completely dead. This is the game that was supposed to save the Saturn. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm gonna get it. Sonic Lost World, definitely excited for that. So that's it for the third party. My thoughts on those very quickly. And next up, just listing very, very, very quickly. I don't know hardly anything about some of these games, but I'm just gonna list them for the eShop, the indie games. Ballpoint Universe looks amazing, looks fun. Cloudberry Kingdom looks fun. Mutant Mud Deluxe also looks a lot of fun. These are just indie games. Really don't know anything about them, but me being a 2D fan, old school stuff, old school gamer and stuff like that, coming from old school, back when it was actual gaming. No, I'm just kidding. These three games look pretty cool, and the fact that they're indie games and on the Wii U is a really big deal because, as I mentioned before in my PS4 reaction video, I really like the fact that now, Sony and now Nintendo is putting a big emphasis on indie gaming, and I think that's very important because, some of the best games are actually indie games, and nobody knows about them because they're indie games. So I love the fact that they're putting a big emphasis on this. DuckTales Remastered, obviously, big fan. I have the cart right there for the NES. I'm looking at it right now. Might check this out. Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystara, I hope I wrote that right, by Capcom. Love me some Capcom beat-em-up games. If you haven't noticed by now, I have an entire freaking retrospective, Capcom Arcade Classics Volume 1. Go check it out. Can't wait to look at this. And last but not least, Oddworld New and Tasty, which is a remake, I think, of the first game, and that looks pretty cool as well. So, now that we got all of that out of the way, now we can get to the meat and bones of this Nintendo Direct E3 presentation. Starting off with Pokemon X and Y being released in October the 12th for the 3DS. Now, I'm excited for this because I actually skipped over Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2. I've heard that those games are amazing. I don't know. I haven't played it. I haven't even finished my Pokemon White game yet. But from that, I was very impressed jumping over from Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. So X and Y looks to be amazing. I love just some main points that I look on here. I love the new graphics. I love the fact that it's going more 3D. I don't think it's fully 3D yet, but it's going more 3D, and we're getting closer and closer to finally getting a proper Pokemon game in full 3D. I'm still waiting for that MMO, by the way. Maybe we can get it. Maybe, fingers crossed. Another big thing about X and Y is the new fairy type. Don't laugh yet, because I'm actually pretty excited about this, because the last time we added a new type was way back in Gold and Silver when we added Steel type and Dark type, and this is a strategy game, this is an RPG. Adding a new type I think is a great idea to add more spice to the battle system, because it provides more strategy that we have to think about. So in my opinion, fairy type, bring it. Bring more strategy into the game. There's also a new feature called Pokemon Ami, which is a new way to, I guess, level up or change the stats of your Pokemon. Say what you will about being corny and kind of Nintendogs kind of thing where you take care of your Pokemon and make them happy and stuff like that. I think it's a great way. I think people will be able to use this to get their Pokemon to level up and stuff like that, get the stats that they want. Honestly, I think it brings a whole new level of strategy to this. So, like I said, bring it. So I'm excited for X and Y. Next up is Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, releasing sometime in December. I actually really like this. I haven't played the Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. I don't own a 3DS, so I have played it a little bit though, and I do love it. I like the little bit that I've played. I love what I've seen of it. So the fact that we're getting a 3D Super Mario 3D game for the Wii U, I think is fantastic, especially since we're going to be adding multiplayer to this. So it's sort of like Super Mario Wii, where you have a 4-player co-op, except this time it's Super Mario 3D. So I'm excited about this. They have a big, like I said, it's adding multiplayer, which in Nintendo Direct they made a good point that you could play either co-op or competitively. So I think that can be a lot of fun too. Just be a complete dick to your friends. I can just see that being a whole bunch of fun. If playing like Halo and all the other multiplayer games with some of my friends, and it's a lot of fun. So I can't wait to play this with my friends and just be a complete douchebag to them. And, if we want to actually beat the game, I guess we can be cooperative with one another. But, whatever. The other interesting thing is that each character, by the way, you can play 4 different characters. Obviously, you're not going to be playing Mario. You're going to be playing as Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach. So bring on Super Mario Brothers 2 USA. It's basically the same thing. The cool thing about it is that each one has a different ability, except for Mario. He's kind of like the boring middleman. Of course, Luigi has his flutter jump thing. I'm wondering if that, if you're just like in Super Mario Brothers 2, I wonder if you're going to be able to use him and just cheese your way throughout the entire game. I'm sure somebody's going to be able to. Toad is going to be the fastest of all of them. Obviously, he can't use his Super Mario Brothers 2 ability, which is to lift things faster. Though I wouldn't be surprised if that's also the case. And Peach, of course, has her little float thing. Though this time she doesn't float as often, which I guess makes sense seeing as this is a 3D game, not a 2D game. So you wouldn't be needing that ability as much. And finally, we have a new ability for Mario. It's called Cat Mario. So it's a new costume, and it looks rather interesting. He's able to climb up walls. He's able to slide on the floor as an attack, and he's able to scratch the enemies and stuff as an attack as well. And also, when you get to the flagpole thing, if you have Cat Mario, he's actually able to, when you jump onto the pole, instead of just sliding all the way down, he's able to go all the way to the top and get you a free 1-up. So I'm guessing that's going to be a good way to store up on some 1-ups. So overall, Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, excited about, gonna get it. Next up, Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U, coming out spring 2014. The only thing I have to say about that is spiritual successor to F-Zero? I think so. Although I really wish we would get F-Zero anyway, but whatever. The big thing about Mario Kart 8 is that now there's anti-gravity, which, like I said, straight out of F-Zero. Really, I didn't see that much as far as game, strategy and stuff like that. Actually, let me retract that. I think there is going to be some strategy used with that anti-gravity, because I did see some multiple paths that you can take. So if you're good enough and you can use that anti-gravity to get, to move ahead of the other racers and stuff like that. So it looks a little bit interesting. The other thing is that you can glide and go underwater the same way that you have in previous Mario Kart games, and apparently they're promising better online play, which is, if it's anything as good as the DS Mario Kart game, then bring it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've been playing a lot of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing lately, and online is pretty fierce, and it's a lot of fun. So I would love to see that on Mario Kart, a Mario Kart, main console game, not just on the 3DS. So that looks a lot of fun. Again, still want that F-Zero though. Next up is combination just party games, Wii Party U and Wii Fit U. Wii Party U is coming out in October, and Wii Fit U is coming out in December. Wii Party U, really I have the more to say about that, and it's basically, it's a party game. It's basically Wii Sports, except party game. And honestly, you may think that, it's just, another gimmick and stuff like that, but honestly, I find that you kind of, it's good to have some of these games. especially if you use the Wii like the way that I've used it before. And using the Wii U the way that I've used the Wii. With a lot of my friends also use the Wii for party games and stuff like that. It's a good way to be social. I know I was like, oh, gamers, social, but yeah, I'm actually pretty interested in this. The Wii Party U thing, being able to one of the more interesting aspects of it is that you can use the Wii U gamepad as a tabletop, as they called it. So basically, there are some games that you only need the gamepad to play, and I thought that was pretty interesting actually. I can't wait to check it out. It seems like a little, a fun little game to have every now and then when your friends come over who aren't gamers and stuff like that, but they can get into it. Actually, from what I found in my personal experiences, is that these party games, they're more towards the more casual gamers and stuff like that, but they can still be pretty fun. So Wii Party U, I'm pretty interested in it. Wii Fit U is another game though. We didn't see anything of it, and I'm not into Wii Fit, so that's what I have to say about that. Not interested. Last in these little gimmicky games is Art Academy, which is coming out at some point during the summer, I think. I don't think we got an actual date. Basically, it's just a way to use your game tablet or your gamepad to create like artwork using on the Wii U. And again, you may think that that's gimmicky and stuff like that, but there's a market out there for it. Me being an artist myself, I think it's a good thing to have. I personally wouldn't spend money to buy this, but if somebody gave me this as a present or something like that, I wouldn't necessarily throw it away. I think it's a good way to, the Wii U tablet is another medium. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when the Kinect came out, there was actually an entire community now devoted entirely to using the Kinect as an art tool, actually, and some really, really awesome art, like installations and stuff like that, using the Kinect. So using the Wii U gamepad is totally not something strange, at least from my experience. So having an entire like app, or a game or something. This isn't really a game, but devoted entirely to using the gamepad as an art tool is interesting to say the least, in my opinion. So next up is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD, coming out in October. Now, I love me some Legend of Zelda, boy. Wind Waker is probably one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games, and the fact that it's getting an HD remake is all right with me. Some of the things that I did notice is that it looked brighter, obviously being an HD remake. Just from gameplay standpoint, it looks like you're able to hold more items at once, which is a godsend. Because of the gamepad, the Wii U gamepad instead of the GameCube controller. They did make a mention that the Tingle Tuner is now gone, and instead of having the Tingle Tuner, which I thought they were going to do something in the case of we're replacing the Game Boy Advance with the Wii U gamepad, which would have made sense to me, but they're just scratching that whole idea, and now you're going to be able to interact with the Miiverse through bottles, which honestly I was a little disappointed, because the only function that serves is that you can put a message in a bottle, send it off, and that bottle gets sent to other players playing Wind Waker HD, and they can read your note in that bottle. And these bottles wash up on shore in the game itself, and it's an interesting, it's an interesting concept, but it just doesn't do anything gameplay-wise. So I was a little disappointed with that. And they also mentioned that they might change stuff, although they didn't elaborate on the tempo. Now, one of the biggest complaints of Wind Waker, one of the same one that I have actually, is that the tempo of the game can drag on, especially with trying to traverse the entire ocean, the Great Sea, on your little boat before you get the Wind Waker and able to just teleport using the cyclones or whatever. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, and even then after that, it takes it drags on trying to traverse this whole big sea, in the boat. So my assumption is that they're going to address that some way, and I think that's a great idea, because that was honestly one of the biggest complaints. That I love Wind Waker, but I hate sailing. So that's a good indication. So Wind Waker HD, looking forward to that. I might get it, maybe. I already have it, but if they add enough, then definitely that's a must-buy for me, especially seeing as I'm such a big Zelda fan. Next up is The Wonderful 101, released being released September 15th. Basically, this is just like a superhero kind of thing, and honestly, it just kind of reminded me of like Pikmin with superheroes. And you can play up to 5 players, and you can transform basically you're like in charge of all these little people, and you use the game tablet to maneuver them and like transform them into like all these different items. It looks interesting. I would have to see more though. Honestly, it looks like Pikmin with superheroes. That's all I can say. But it looks interesting at least. Next up is, before I get to, I'll just go in order. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze being released in November. Holy crap. Hell yes. I just beat, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I just beat Donkey Kong Country Returns for the first time for the Wii. I had actually, this is the funniest thing, I had actually gotten all the way up to like the last 3 or 4 levels, but then I just stopped for some reason. I think, school and stuff got in the way, but it was just like, it was weird that I just stopped like so close to the end, and I was finally able to beat it, and it just left me wanting more. So I'm so glad that they're getting around to making a new Donkey Kong Country game that looks like Returns, because Returns completely kicked my ass, but I love it because it's like you don't get games like that anymore. But just seeing the footage, they made a big emphasis. It was weird, like 3D camera. It doesn't actually matter. It's just like dynamic angles and stuff like that. But they made a big emphasis on that, even though it has nothing to do with the gameplay. Just have to throw that out there. Obviously, you can play 2-player again cooperatively, like you did in Returns. The Vikings are now the new enemies, and I know some people may be mad. It's like, bring back the Kremlins, but honestly, I don't mind them bringing new enemies, because we can't keep facing the Kremlins over and over and over again. At some point, I would like to see the return of King K. Rool, though, because he is such a big staple in the series. But for now, the Vikings, I don't have a problem with it. They're all going to go down anyway. I'm going to beat them up. And other than that, gameplay-wise, there is a bigger emphasis that I saw with swimming. Now, in the first game, I'm pretty sure there was actually no swimming whatsoever in any of the levels, which was a bit disappointing. There was no underwater levels, and in this one there are, so that seems a bit interesting, in my opinion. So we'll see how that handles. And holy crap, Dixie Kong is back. Booyah! I love me some Dixie Kong. And she actually plays a little bit different than Diddy Kong. And you can actually play as her now. So I'm excited for that. Next up is Bayonetta 2 coming out 2014, and I'm excited about this because I think this is one of the titles made by Sega that's being made exclusively for the Wii U. So I'm very excited about that. There was so much action on screen though during the gameplay footage that they showed. So I'm very excited about that. I'm definitely getting Bayonetta 2. I have Bayonetta 1 for the PS3. Haven't finished it yet, but definitely love me some Bayonetta. And finally, we have a game that actually didn't have a title. I think it's X. It's going by the untitled, or the developmental title of X, which is being released in 2014. These are coming from the same people that made Xenoblade for the Wii, which I haven't played, by the way, but it looks amazing. I need to pick it up like right freaking now. And it's an open world game, action game, and you can get in mechs and stuff like that. And I don't have much to say because it honestly didn't show much. The only thing that we know is that it's an open world, it's an action game made by the people from Xenoblade, and there's mechs involved. And you get in the mechs and you can fly around and stuff like that in the mechs, or you can get out and do stuff. All I know is that it looks awesome, and I'm definitely getting it. Definitely looks creative as all get out. And finally, holy crap, Batman Super Smash Bros. Is coming out 2014 for both 3DS and Wii U. That's the biggest announcement of this entire thing. Nintendo Direct, that's the one that everybody's going to be talking about, and I'm sure you guys want to know what I want to know, or my reaction to that. Yes, Super Smash Bros. Is finally coming out 2014, or at least we knew it was coming out at some point, but now this is like the official reveal, and holy crap, I'm getting so excited about this. The first thing, obviously, is that they're making 2 versions of this game. There's one for the 3DS and one for the Wii U. The 3DS, interestingly enough, is getting this cel-shaded look for it, while the Wii U obviously is getting an HD look. I think it's a good idea. I think it keeps it different enough. Now, they didn't specify any differences between the two. I'm assuming that the 3DS and the Wii U will each have their own little quirks, that one's going to have one option, maybe even some character exclusives, while the other one isn't, and vice versa. So I'm so freaking excited about that. They didn't show that many different characters. They showed the mainstays, Mario, obviously Mario, Samus, Pikachu, Donkey Kong, Link, Pit, Kirby, all the mainstays. They didn't show anybody else. We don't know, or at least I don't know right now, if Snake or Sonic is coming back. Either one of them are coming back. I really hope they do, but if it's just one, then I hope that it's Sonic. I love Snake, but I think Sonic I think he fits a little more than Snake does in this kind of game. But I would love it if both of them came back, honestly. And we have 2 new characters at the time of this recording anyway. We have the villager who's coming from Animal Crossing, who's an interesting pick. I think I probably would have picked Tom Nook, honestly, or Mr. Rossetti. That would have been hilarious. But villager, I think it's it's an interesting thing. I don't know any of his moves or anything like that. I don't have much to say about his moves that they did show off, so I don't know too much about him so far. And holy crap, Batman, it's Mega Man. Mega Man is finally coming to Super Smash Bros., and I could not be happier, because I've been wanting Mega Man since Melee, yeah. So while all you other guys were asking for Sonic, I was asking for Mega Man. Such a huge Mega Man fan. I'm so freaking happy that he's finally coming to Super Smash Bros. And he looks freaking amazing. He looks a little creepy, but whatever. I'm okay with that. He looks amazing in HD. We have not seen Mega Man in such a long time. I'm so happy that we're getting something, because Capcom apparently hates him. I'm so glad that he's in. I can't stress enough how glad I am that he's in there. And he's using some. They were using like Mega Man 2 music and stuff like that. He is coming with Rush. I'm assuming that Rush is going to be like, he's just going to show up with, during some of his moves, and he's not going to be there. I don't think Rush is going to be like, Pokemon Trainer, like in Brawl, where he's just like in the background chilling. I think he's just going to show up in certain moves and stuff like that. But the cool thing about Mega Man, gameplay-wise, is that he does have his like acquired moves from like Robot Masters and stuff like that. I mean, Hard Knuckle, Hard Knuckle. The Metal Blades, holy crap, Metal Blades are gonna be overpowered, easy win. But yeah, I'm so happy that he's in there. And there was like a little teaser at the end where the Yellow Devil came out, Yellow Devil from Mega Man 1. And a lot of people have assumed that that's kind of like an indication that maybe they're gonna do something like they did with Subspace. The Subspace Emissary in Brawl, and maybe the Yellow Devil may be a part of that. I'm honestly pumped, because, unlike so many of you guys, I actually enjoyed the Subspace Emissary. Yeah, it got a little bit long and, and dragged on a little bit, but I love being able to see all these universes and stuff like that, being able to go through them and stuff like that. It could have been better, but, I love what I got. And as long as they can make Subspace better, I'm happy. Especially if I can fight the Yellow Devil with like Yoshi or something like that, I'm good. I am so good. So yeah, Super Smash Brothers, I am so freaking excited for. Urgh. You guys are going down if there's online. So yeah, that was it. The last little thing that I'm gonna mention is that they didn't mention that in certain Best Buys you can play some of these games, so you don't even have to be at the freaking E3. Thank God, Nintendo, you're so smart and you love your fans so much. I love you back. So you don't even have to go to E3 to play some of these games. You just have to go to your Best Buy. Just go online and see which Best Buys they are offering those games, and you can play some of these games. I didn't, it's very quick, but I did see Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is one of the games that I really like. Mario Kart 8 and Super Mario World Super Mario 3D World, maybe the other ones too. So go out there and play them. And that's it for me. I know this has dragged on a little bit too long. I'm sorry about that, but I love me some Nintendo, and I'm definitely getting a Wii U now after some of these titles. So yeah, let me know what you think. What did you think of Nintendo's presentation during Nintendo Direct? Are you getting a Wii U? If you do have a Wii U, are you happy now that all these, all these cool games are coming out? Which games are you most excited about? I should just say, which games are you most excited about besides Super Smash Brothers? Because I know everybody's looking forward to Super Smash Brothers. What are some of the what are some characters that you want to come back to Super Smash Brothers? What are some characters that you want to make their first appearance? Trophies? Just let me know. What are your thoughts on Nintendo? What are your thoughts on the 3DS and the Wii U? Let me know in the comment section below. And obviously, like always, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to me, comment below, and I will see you guys later. All right, bye. As always, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to get more stuff from me. In the meantime, if you like my videos, be sure to find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Raptr, and Screwattack.com to see the other gaming related content that I upload. Info is in the description. Who knows? Maybe you'll like my stuff. Maybe. Maybe.